The voyageurs started paddling Lake Superior in search of fur in the 1670s. The heyday of that trade lasted through the 1830s, and some would say they never completely went away. Modern-day voyageurs gather every year at Lester Park, and Dave Anderson tells their story in this week's Holding On to History.
In 1799, the sound of a cannon would get indigenous and voyageur alike running out of the forest. The bark of a cannon was the signal to start a rendezvous. That's when all the trappers got together to trade, rest, and blow off a little steam. The Lester River Rendezvous recreates those days and teaches school kids the ways of the 18th century. Don Chesney is half European and half Ojibwe and portrays a teacher.
I am Ogichida, the now retired Ojibwe warrior. Now I get to be the elder and teach kids.
One of the lessons is that in the summertime, the traditional deerskin clothes of the Lake Superior Chippewa would be replaced by lighter cloth articles.
When we were introduced to the wabawayan, the woven cloth, woven hides is what it translates for cloth, we thought that's very comfortable.
Other luxuries at a rendezvous included fresh pork and potato stew rather than the usual pemmican and wild game they had on the trail. Games and competitions were popular too. This is the 26th annual Lester River Rendezvous, and another event using the park last Saturday cut down the size this year, but at least the weather worked out.
We normally do not get these beautiful days here. We usually always get rain for the school days, but for this specific one, absolute beautiful weather.
The term rendezvous wasn't applied to these gatherings until the 1830s, when Jim Bridger's Green River Rendezvous in Wyoming coined the phrase. That festival has only missed 3 years since then.
World War II, once during some heavy drought and fires, and once during COVID.
This year's Lester River Rendezvous, over its 4-day course, gave history lessons to 450 school kids. Holding on to history in Duluth, Dave Anderson, Northern News Now.
And in the days of old, the largest rendezvous gatherings were held at Fort William, Ontario, and Grand Portage, Minnesota.